Alright, to start off today, I always talk about how math is its own language. So we're going to figure out what division means in English. We did this with multiplication, right? What does that multiplication sign really mean? Yikes. What does that multiplication sign really mean? I should see lots of hands. We've said it so many times. Brayden? Groups of, right? So we're going to do the same thing. I would like you to write the equation 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Well, write it kind of large because we're going to talk about what each of these sections mean. So we're writing 12 divided by 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So I'm going to start by drawing an arrow to my number 12. Because we're going to talk about what that first part means. What does that mean? Other than the fact that it's a number. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Since it's the biggest number, that's the total.
You know what? That's not bad logic. I like it. So that it is the biggest number, so it's very likely the total. And I like that you said total, not answer. Because our total usually is our biggest number, right? We're not getting anything more. I love that. Yeah, that is our total. Total number of things. So you've drawn an arrow to the 12 and you wrote the total. AKA, you know what AKA means?
Yes, I know.
Oh, well, that might be helpful. AKA stands for also known as, which means like, I am Miss Miller, AKA Casey. Those are my names.
It's
another way of saying who I am. Right? So, Easton, AKA Rockstar. Do you see what I'm saying? So, the total, AKA whole. That's going to be important when we think about this in a part whole frame of mind. What's a W? Lamb. That's silent W whole. Okay. Yes.
And that's the number we're about to divide.
Yes, that is the number that we're going to divide. We're not getting any more. That's the total amount. That's it. So if I have 12 chocolate bars and I'm doing a division problem, I'm not going to end up with 37.
Nope.
That is it. I'm not getting any more than 12. Alright, this division symbol. Mine is a slash. I imagine most of you probably put the horizontal line with the 2 dots. Doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. They mean the same thing. We are writing this down, yes.
No, who's making that sound?
Oh, sorry. I don't know, friend. Put into equal groups. That's what that division sign means. Someone before I started this said that. We know that. So you're drawing an arrow to your division symbol. And you are writing put into equal groups. That's what that division symbol means. So when you see division, you're going to know, okay, I'm splitting this number up into some groups. The next number in our equation is really helpful because I know for my division symbol that I'm putting it into equal groups. Well, how many? 8,000?
No.
800?
No.
No. That next number tells me exactly how many groups. So you're going to draw an arrow to your number 4. And then you are going to write how many groups. That's what that 4 is telling you. Okay, so we had 12 things. We're putting them in equal groups. More specifically, we're putting them in 4 equal groups. And this is where division gets a little tricky. When we think about the answer to a division problem, it can be a couple of things. So normally, in multiplication, our product is talking about the total. All the things, right? 3 groups of bananas. My answer is the total of bananas. 14 groups of sticky notes. The answer is the total amount of sticky notes. In division, it gets a little bit weird. So in this problem, if we have 12 things put into 4 groups, my quotient, that's how I say division answer, quotient, is telling me how many things in each group, or in one group. That's a little bit different than what I got out of a multiplication equation. Does that make a little bit of sense? Alright, we're going to write it down. I know it's a little tricky. No. No. Raise your hand if you have something to say and I will call on you. So that quotient, you're drawing an arrow to number 3, and you're writing the number in each group, aka the number in one group. So I put some context, and I had 12 counters, and I made 4 groups with those counters. I know I'm going to have 3 counters inside each group. Okay, division's a tricky thing. We are not going to draw an arrow to the equal sign because we've talked about the equal sign. What does the equal sign mean, just for review? And it is not the answer comes next. We're going to get that out of your vocabulary. What does the equal sign actually mean? Miranda?
It means
Nope, it does not mean the total. Because I don't even have the total right next to it. Annabella? Nope. No, definitely not. Scarlett?
It's standing there. I don't know.
Eliana?
Same value.
It means the same value. Think back as that equal sign as a balance.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we pulled out the balance scales? It's saying that everything on this side is equal to everything on that side. They are definitely looking different, smelling different, tasting different, but they are worth the same amount. Does that make sense? Yes, so, maybe so? Alright, we're going to continue on. Go ahead and turn your page if you have not. Underneath that, you're going to write the equation. I know you already know the answer because I just gave it to you on the last page. But go ahead and write the equation 12 divided by 4 equals question mark. Again, I know you know the answer. Knowing the answer is not what I want to accomplish. I want you to make sure you understand how to do it. Yes, ma'am? It doesn't have to be super giant. It can be like regular size. If you wrote it large, it's not the end of the world. 12 divided by 4 equals question mark. 12 divided by 4 equals box. Alright, when I'm using the dealing out strategy, I actually need to look towards that second number in my equation. This is the number I need to focus on right here, that 4. Why do I need to focus on that number first? Think about what we just talked about as to what that 4 means. Why do I need to focus on that number first? Brinley?
Because it's how many groups you split it into.
Yes, that number tells me the number of groups. That number is 4. That means I need 4 groups. If you want circle groups, raise your hand. If you want box groups, raise your hand.
Bar model.
It's not a bar model.
It's a bar group.
It's complicated. Alright, draw whatever makes your brain happy. I don't care.
Okay.
If you want circles for your groups, go to town. If you want boxes for your groups, go to town.
Oh.
I'm just going to do circles for simplicity. Do whatever makes your brain happy. I drew 4 circles. Autumn, why did I draw 4 circles?
Oh my god.
I am going to put tally marks, but why did I draw 4 and not 5? Yeah, this is my number of groups. That 4 in my equation tells me, hey, I need 4 big groups. Big circles are groups. Big boxes are groups. Got 4 big circles? Now, what do I do? I made my 4 groups. Now what? Gavin, now what?
Do you allow?
How many? How do I know when to stop?
You count to the number while you do 1 to each box.
So what number am I going to stop at?
I did it already.
What number am I going to stop at?
3.
No.
Well, 12 actually.
I am going to stop at
I
12.
meant to say 12.
Draw an arrow to that 12.
I meant to say 12.
This is what you count to. So I understand. As you are dealing out, you're counting up until you hit that number 12. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start dealing out. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. Am I fair? Yeah.
Yes.
Am I fair?
Yes.
You guys know what fair means, yes? Is that fair? Everybody got 1.
No.
That's not fair?
Yes.
That is fair. I'm not done, but that is fair. Brayden, I do not want to tell you every single day to wear your mask correctly. That is fair. Everybody has the same amount. But I'm not done. I'm only at 4. So I'm going to keep counting, right, Gavin?
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8. So what we're doing... Yep, we made our 4 groups. From right here. 9, 10, 11, 12.
How many are in each?
Now, to figure out that question mark or that box, I'm going to look what is inside one group.
It is.
So what is inside one group? Autumn? 3. 12 divided by 4 is 3.
I knew it.
That is that dealing out strategy. Any questions about that so far? Alright, so we're going to look at that quotient a little bit closer. And I want you to write that question. It can either be a subtitle or if you need to move on to the next page, you look at your notebook. If you have room to continue, please continue on that page. If you have plenty of space, please continue. The question I want you to write is, what does my quotient mean? What does my quotient mean? So again, remember in multiplication, you don't need to write what I'm about to write. We had 4 times 2 equals 8. That answer is the total number of things. It's whatever I'm counting. 8 cupcakes, 8 socks, 8 cars, 8 markers. It's whatever I'm counting, right? Yeah. The same is true in division. That word quotient, go ahead and circle it. That is a division answer. That's what that's called. Just like when we learned sum is the answer to an addition problem, product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The term for answer of a division problem, Gavin, get writing, is quotient. That's what that word means. It's really nice when our quotient is written as what I call a unit. Go ahead and write the word unit. Units are things you count. We've been working with units. Every single multiplication problem we've done, when you write that answer sentence and I ask you, what are you counting? You're telling me a unit. So are you counting socks? Are you counting bones? Are you counting puppies? Those are units, the thing that you are counting. Every single answer sentence you have written has a unit. In division, it might look like this. You do not need to write that. But let's pretend I have 18 donuts. I eat 6 donuts a day. Keeps the doctor away. How many donuts, or excuse me, how many days will my donuts last? If we think about that question, how many days will my donuts last? The thing that I'm counting, nope, is days. So my answer sentence is going to look like this. Blank days. That's normal. We've seen that in multiplication, right? Blank donuts, blank days. There's another special answer type that can come from division called rates. Write the word rates, please. R-A-T-E-S, rates. Rates are a little bit different. This is that each group idea. Right in your writing. This gets a little tricky. Gives you a lot of your brain power. So for instance, I might see this problem. I have 18 donuts and 6 boxes to put them in. How many donuts should I put in each box? If I look really closely at that answer, how many donuts should I put in each box? my answer sentence is going to say donuts in each box. That's a lot longer. If I'm wanting to know how many are in each box, that's a little bit different than just knowing how many donuts, how many days. So division is very tricky in that your answer might look a little different depending on what the problem is saying. This is complicated. We'll revisit this lots of times. Okay? So don't freak out if you're still very confused. Alright, we're going to keep going. I'm going to put you in partners. Turn to the next blank page in your notebook. I want you to write a number 1 at the top of your notebook and write that equation. It says 28 divided by 7 equals 5. Yep, number 1. 28 divided by 7 equals 5. Then you're going to go down to the middle of the page. You're going to go to the middle of the page to write question number 2. 30 divided by 6 equals question mark or box. And then on the next page, you're just going to write a number 3. You are not going to write this whole sentence, or whole question, I guess I should say. But I do want a space. That